Hey guys, my name is Jazzy. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming by. I am a licensed esthetician, I'm a salon owner, and I'm also an online business owner. And today I wanted to make a video about lash artists, the income potential that exists, and yes, $10,000 a month as a lash artist is actually possible. So I know it's kind of an unusual thing, right? It's a relatively new phenomenon to be jumping online talking about how much money you make. And me a year ago would have thought that was absolutely, totally out of the question. But then I thought about myself 5 years ago, and I thought about myself 7 years ago, and what I would have liked to see, what I would have been motivated by, what I would have been inspired by, because until I did this, I actually didn't know that it was a possibility. So I could care less what haters have to say about this video or videos like these, because I've done it and it is possible, and all I'm sharing with you here today is what I've actually been able to do, and hopefully it will motivate you. So you can see here, let's see, April 2018, we did, can you see it? 9,175. Then skip to, let's see, September, 10,041. Yes, I keep my books in markers and pen. That is just my style. Actually, last year I did everything on the computer, which is why I'm showing you 2018 numbers. But as you can see, I've been pulling down these numbers for quite a little while now. There you go, that's December 2018. And so what I found is there's a few key things that you can do to actually bump yourself up to the level where you're making these type of numbers. I would not say that this is standard. I would not say that this is typical, but it is possible. And depending on how hard you work and depending on the consistency, you could actually make a great living. I think in 2018, I only really worked, I would say like 4 days a week, and I took like 3 vacations. I went to Bali, I went to Costa Rica, I went to Denmark that year. And so I feel like the freedom is almost just as great as, you know, the dollar amount that you're making. If you want to be one of the lash artists that's really excelling in the field and is setting themselves apart from other lash artists, long before you can command, you know, 80K a year, 90K a year and upwards, there's a few things that need to happen. Number one, you need to consistently deliver good work over a long period of time. I hit these goals after, I would say, about a year of working full-time as a lash artist. If you dedicate yourself to it and you put in 10,000 hours to learn the skill and get really good at it, I mean good to the point where you can have any client walk in the door and you can slay their lashes. No excuses about, oh, well, I don't prefer to work on people with thin lashes, or I don't want to learn volume, I just want to do classic. You really have to try to learn everything that you can and execute really well, because if you're not executing, people won't stick around, and if people don't stick around, there's no potential for it to build and grow to the extent that it would need to grow for you to make 6 figures. My second piece of advice is be self-employed in one location. So obviously working for somebody else when you're getting paid a commission or a portion of the money that's being spent by the client, everyone knows that lashes cost a lot, right? And so wouldn't you want to be in a scenario where you're keeping all of your money instead of just some? So I think that the goal should definitely be to be self-employed, to get out on your own if you want to make these kind of numbers. Now, if you don't, and you don't want the additional responsibility of being a business owner, if you really like just going to work and not having to have the headache of all the extra stuff, then I totally get that too. I think it would be pretty difficult to reach 6 figures if you're working for someone else, but if you're willing to go and be self-employed, I recommend that you stay in the same location so that people can find you. People circle back around all the time. So if you had a steady client for 6 months and they go away, when they come back, you'll still be there. And so that was a really beneficial thing for me, was staying in the same spot, keeping the same phone number, and really building out of that one space. Another piece of advice is just keeping really low overhead. If you can work from home, that's fantastic. If you can share a space, that's fantastic. Any way that you can keep your bottom line low is really just key for you to build and take home profits, because I'm all about a profit-centric business. I don't think it's that amazing if you're making $10,000 a month, but you're spending, you know, $7,200 just to keep the lights on and keep the whole thing going. Everybody knows that lash extensions have an extremely low cost for the materials and an extremely high cost for the service rendered. And so that's an opportunity for you to definitely fill in that space with pure profit margins, which we love. Charge premium prices after proving your skills. Now, this one does kind of tie into the other one, right? With consistently delivering great work, proving your skills, perfecting your skills. Once you're the best at what you do, you can charge premium prices. $175 for a full set, $200, $225 for a full set. I don't recommend charging premium prices in the very beginning. Why? Because you're just beginning, because you're just learning, and anybody that comes to you is going to know that. But they will appreciate a discount and they will be there for you as you build, and you'll probably be able to keep those clients for the rest of your career. I read an article the other day that mapped out the earning potential for lash artists, and it came in at something like $288,000 a year. And this was all based on having a $200 price point for a full set and doing 5 full sets a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Obviously, you're not going to be doing full sets on every person every day of every week all year long. That doesn't make any sense. You do full sets for a client, and then ideally they will stay with you, and every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks they'll come back and spend anywhere from $50 to $100 on a fill. So it's not realistic to map out your financial goals around having 5 full sets in a day, but you can map your financial goals around fills. Right after this video, I'm going to make a video that includes a lesson from our online training, so look out for that. I didn't want to make that a part of this video because the lesson is like really educational and kind of slow paced, and it felt kind of like a different vibe. So I'm going to make a separate video apart from this